That's why there's another saying, truth is always bitter. We don't want to accept truth. But I have always been like this. I have always been bitter insofar as speaking the truth and trying to be truthful is concerned. I told this man straight away. I didn't call him that day or next day. I actually found out, cross-checked from different sources. Then I took out specific cases, and then I knew he had taken so much in this case, so much in that case. And this is 30 years ago, I can tell you, 30 years from today. Then I said, Mr. X, वो फलानी जो फाइल थी और वो फलाना जो केस था, उसमें आपने उस ज़माने में 30 years ago, 1 lakh rupee was a very big amount, something like a crore. I said, you have taken 1 lakh rupees from so and so? He almost collapsed. No sir, sir, who told you, sir? All lies, sir. I am being defamed. I said, have you taken or not? No. Okay. Then I said, this case, you have taken 50,000 rupees. So after 3 cases, he broke down. He cried so much, I got scared. I thought he will collapse. He will faint. I immediately called for water and all. I said, इनको पानी पिलाइए वो करे. Then I got scared. I said, if something happens to him medically, heart attack हो गया, कुछ हो गया, बोलेंगे कलेक्टर, पोस्ट बोल दी मैंने, कलेक्टर ने मार दिया. I was collector at that time. So I left the room. Then I told 1 or 2 subordinates, spend some time with him, let him recover. Then when he was okay, after about 1 or 2 hours, I called him again. Then I apologized with folded hands. I said, I'm very sorry. I have caused you so much of trauma. But the point is, you have let me down. And I am told that because of you, because I am praising you in public, people are saying, I am taking money from you. I said, I cannot accept that because I am not taking any money from you. For that matter, I was not taking any money from anybody. And why, when I am not taking money, should I get a bad name? So I said, I am removing you from your assignment. I do not want you to work in the district also. You apply for leave. Leave the district. And from today, as far as you and I are concerned, this is our last meeting. I don't want to see your face ever in my life and never come before me. So anyway, he had another round of crying and all after that. Then he told me one thing, and this is what I want to share with you. What his defense was. He said, sir, okay, I will apply for leave. I agree, I am corrupt. I agree, I have made money. You have only named 3 cases, I have made in 40, 50 cases. But shall I tell you why I am corrupt? I said, Mr. X, it doesn't bother me why you are corrupt. It's your personal life, it's your life. I am not your conscience keeper. The fact that you are corrupt is enough for me. I cannot work with you. He said, sir, please listen to me why I am corrupt. I said, okay, boliye. Now when I listened to him why he is corrupt, I was also in tears. And then I had no further dialogue with him, and I never went back on my order. He was relieved. He went to some other post and all that. I have never seen him. In fact, some years ago he passed away. He told me, sir, please look at me. So I said, pata nahi pagal ho gaya ye isko. So I looked, I said, what is there to look at you? He said, how do you describe me, my color? I was very polite. I said, you are dark-skinned. He said, no, I am jet black. And I am telling you seriously, this happened. I am jet black. He said, sir, do you know about my family life? I said, how will I know about your family life? I am not supposed to know also. He said, I have 3 daughters. They are as jet black as me. And they are very bad looking. They are actually ugly. But they are my daughters. Then I also became very serious. So I said, what has it got to do with your corruption? Then he said, I belong to so-and-so community. I said, okay. So I am looking for suitable matches within the community to marry them. They are all in marriageable age. I said, okay. He said, nobody is willing to marry them unless I give a huge dowry. They are saying, "ये काली से हमारी शादी करोगे तो कम से कम गाड़ी तो दो, सोफा तो दो." And I make money to marry my daughters. I don't need to make money for myself. I was so disturbed, I also got tears, I left the room. I leave it to you as a case study. This has happened to me. How would you react? If you go by the logic, we can justify murder or any heinous crime by giving circumstantial facts or evidence. I was not able to reply to this gentleman at that time, but it disturbed me deeply. So I started thinking about it. If I were in his place, how would I have conducted myself? And then I discussed with a lot of people. And after a few years, I got the answer. Not few days, but few years. And the answer which I got was or is, every human being is solely, wholly, totally, irrevocably, completely, and you can go on adding many more adjectives, responsible for his or herself. When we are born, we may be twins, quadruplets, or anything, but we are separate. I'm not talking of conjoined twins or something. When we die, we go alone. Nobody knows how long a person will be breathing on planet Earth, either in a vegetative state on a ventilator or in a normal state with faculties intact. So this period between life and death, the only thing certain is death. The only thing certain in life is uncertainty. So each individual has to take a decision for herself or himself on the parameters of your philosophy, your personal value system. As far as I am concerned, I did not condone what Mr. X late did, but I can tell you 2-3 things I did do for him, despite his being corrupt. Number one, I got it checked up whether it's a fact that he has 3 daughters. Yes. Whether it's a fact that God had not made them very attractive. Yes. Whether it's a fact that he was having problems in getting a suitable match. Obviously. When I had left that assignment and I was into subsequent assignments, I identified 1 or 2 people who were known to this gentleman. And through them, I used to keep getting myself informed, what he's doing now, how is he, what's happening. And then I told some people, by give him some financial aid, at least see some suitable matches are found for his daughters and he's able to marry them. And I don't know about the third one, but I do remember the first and 2 daughters did get married off after some time. Whether they are happily or unhappily married or what happened to them, I have no idea. So I am leaving this with you as a typical case to reflect what each one of you would do. Professor Mishra, since these are all management students, you can take this example and have a seminar type of discussion on this, or a case study presentation, and let's see what replies people give to the case. Let's say you can put it, Ms. Sarkar, as the case of Mr. X. That's it. A case study on Mr. X. And friends, how many of you, by the way, have read any books on ethics, pure ethics, nothing but ethics? The gentleman there. Are you a Telugu Vadu? Because you said Andhra Pradesh Department of Happiness. Chandrababu Naidu Garu has announced that he is going to make this parameter also. But as far as I know, he has not announced a department. He has. Which foundation? Isha. Okay. Yes, yes, sir. Acha. Okay. Okay. ठीक है. So, you see, acha, next two things more, and then I'll conclude. See, in this book, there is a chapter. This is the book which I and Professor Siddiqui have co-authored, and it's called Managing Creative Change, 5 Actors, page 53. So this book is available in your library also. You can have a look at it. And in this chapter, there's a brilliant chapter, not written by me, by the way. It's written by Mr. Siddiqui. This book is very interesting in the sense it is independently written by two of us. He has written the theory, I have given a case study of Singraini. 5 actors of creative change. See, 5 actors of creative change. Columbus, the discoverer, and then you have the artist, the creative person. Then you have the judge. Well, I have been a judge for 12 years in my life as an executive magistrate. I've sentenced people to jail terms also. Then you have the Sufi, something totally missing in our society today. We have no sages, sons and Sufis in our society today, hardly any. Some people are there who claim to be, but less said the better. And 5th is the warrior. So these are 5 facets to our personality. Each one of us has to discover our value systems, to discover ourselves, vision, mission, framework. What, how, where, why, when. So we discover. So Columbus, he was a discoverer. He used to undertake sea voyages. Then each one of us, God has blessed with some inherent, unique qualities, or what is called in English language, head and heart. Each one of us. Somebody has a beautiful voice, somebody is good at writing, somebody is good at high jumping, whatever it is. Somebody is good at tennis, whatever it is. So the artist is the person who brings out our inherent qualities and makes us think about a future. Where are we? Where do we go? Then you must have a person who judges things, who has a framework, a value system, a legal system, a moral system. So that is the judge. Each one of us, like in the case of Mr. X, I have not pronounced a judgment. I never went back on taking him back in my district, but in my own humble way, I did try to help him, knowing that he was corrupt. I don't know whether he stopped being corrupt after that, I don't know. But I was so overpowered by this problem he had that I thought as a human being I should help him. Then comes the Sufi after the judge. And this is sequential again. And unfortunately, we have no Sufis in our society today. The Sufi is a person who tells Columbus, who tells the judge, who tells the artist, sir, this is not correct. You must have humanism, tolerance, compassion, brotherhood, goodness, integrity, honesty. I've named 8 things. Another 20 can be named. So that is the role of the Sufi. So if you want to cheat and become famous, as many people, I can give the name of a person legally because he's a proclaimed offender, Mr. Vijay Malaya. He's a proclaimed offender of the government of India. He has resigned from the Rajya Sabha. His passport has been cancelled, therefore I can name him. Otherwise he would have sued me if I would have named him. Keep quiet, sir. Don't interrupt. Don't. That is another part, the Japanese discipline. So Vijay Malaya, the Sufi will tell Mr. Vijay Malaya, you may earn thousands of crores, but is this the way? Then finally we come to the last person, the warrior. Sachin is a warrior. You may be a very talented cricketer, but you have to translate that talent into concrete action and execute. So these are the 5 actors of creative change, and each one of you, I've been telling Professor Mishra, I think he maybe have done it in the past. Whenever I talk to management people, I always say this: have sessions on groups where each group does the 5 roles, and then your perspective will totally change. When you are in the Columbus group, you will think something else. When you are in the Sufi group, you will think something else. And that's how, through this process of honest, transparent, stimulating, intellectual exercises, you will start discovering the truth. And the last point, I cannot but end always on a person for whom I have the highest and deepest of respect, and about whom Professor Mishra also mentioned, that is Gandhiji. In our book, on page 163, we have given one of the quotations of Gandhiji. It's here. I will read out from it. But before I read out, I'll tell you why I'm reading this. I told you about the bottle, how you look at it. This is a classical example I give to people of what Shakespeare said. Nothing is good or bad. I mean, he was talking in absolute terms. In fact, he was talking not in absolute, I would say he was talking in relative terms, because certain things are bad. For example, murder cannot be called good, whatever may be the reason, unless it is in self-defense, purely. And in that case, it is not treated as murder, as you know. If you defend yourself and somebody dies, it is not murder. It is called culpable homicide, not amounting to murder. And if you can prove you have exercised your right of self-defense, even you will not be charged for culpable homicide. So there are 3 degrees in our legal system. I am talking of the 3rd degree. And Shakespeare said, nothing is good or bad, thinking makes it so. This example I am giving you is, Gandhiji said 7 things. So I will read out what Gandhiji said, and then I'll share with you that how, by viewing it differently, it is actually more. So I am now quoting Gandhiji. There are 7 things that will destroy us. Incidentally, how many people in this group have been to the Gandhiji's ashram in Sevagram near Wardha? Anybody has been there? No. This particular quotation is prominently given at 2 places. This one, which I am reading. There are 7 things that will destroy us. Let's count. 1, wealth without work. 2, pleasure without conscience. 3, knowledge without character. 4, religion without sacrifice. 5, politics without principle. And then 6th, science without humanity. And last and 7th, business without ethics. Now let me give you a different paradigm. I say Gandhiji has said 14 things, not 7. Now you can count 14. Wealth, work, pleasure, conscience, knowledge, character, religion, sacrifice, politics, principles, science, humanity, business, ethics. And if you change the juxtapositioning of these words, you can get any number of combinations. But in essence, this covers entire humanity. What does it not cover? It covers wealth. Now, anything to do with materialism is part of wealth. It covers work. It could be mopping the floor, or it could be going to a space station. It is work. Pleasure, well, no end to pleasures. Listening to music is also a pleasure. For some people, eating a brownie chocolate is also a pleasure. Conscience, most of us don't seem to have a conscience. Because if we had a conscience, would we be in this position where we are today? Data given in Wikipedia or in Google is factually incorrect. I'll give you only one example. I was in Nagpur a few days ago, and I wanted to be exactly sure about some quotation from the Rig Veda, and I was not able to get the date. So I told the gentleman with me, "You have an Android?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Go into Wikipedia or Google and give me the date for this." And then he gave it to me, and I said, "This is wrong. That date was wrong, and it is given in Wikipedia for the Rig Veda. According to that, the Rig Veda is only 300 BC, which makes it 2,300 years old. But actually, according to current, and I know one top scientist of our country who lives in Indore, who's doing research on this, he told me it is minimum 4,700 years old. But so if you start quoting such things, it is not knowledge. In many cases, it will be misinformation. Character. Character is something, well, I don't want to comment on anybody's character, including myself, but we all know that if we had a Bhutanese character or a Japanese character, we wouldn't say many things and do many things more than saying, which we do in our country. Religion. Well, religion is today the most exploited word in the world. So you do the most irreligious acts in the name of religion, irrespective of which religion you are born into. So any person, when he's born into a religion, thinks he is the most superior person. He says, my religion is the best. But the question is, well, did you have a choice? You are born into a religion, whether it's good or bad. Let others comment on it. Who are you to comment? Principle. Again, where are the principles? Science. Yes, there is science. But what sort of science? Look at the essays of Einstein, the man who transformed the previous century, a great scientist. Look at the thought process of even Sir Isaac Newton. Look at what Benjamin Franklin, who was also a great scientist and president of US, 170, 80 years ago. These are people, look at that. One of the biggest tributes ever paid by any human being to Mahatma Gandhi was by a scientist, Albert Einstein, when he said that generations to come